Welcome to day 3, Overland Adventure 2021, presented by Jeep. Today we make it to the promised land of Moab, my second home. We're leaving the awesome Factory Butte. It's been a great night out here. So today we're gonna see parts of one of my favorite trails in Moab called 7 Mile Rim. What's awesome is we have so many options up there. So we're staying at Base Camp Adventure right on the Colorado River tonight. Private property, just tucked back in there. It is a personal secret, so I might have to knock some of you off after telling you this publicly. Look back to our left and see Factory Butte where we left from. Up ahead of us, we're going to be entering the Goblin Valley, which has got some just amazing rock formations. Off to our right, looks like a bunch of flat nothing, but actually drops into the Green River Basin and then the Colorado River Basin and the Canyonlands National Park. So we're going to be kind of circling around the top of that, those two big rivers to come back down on the Moab side.
In 1987, I did the Mojave Road with my dad and some friends. One of the families was in a 1949 Willys Jeepster, and I felt like they looked like they were having more fun than everybody else. So I'd always wanted one since I was a little kid. This is my dream Jeep, so now we have it.
We had a CJ, and I saw a picture of this for sale, and I said, it's cute. We gotta get it.
She said it was cute. Started off with a lot of the wires had been chewed up, so I completely rewired it. Had to go through and completely change the fuel system. Everything was rusty and full of red dirt. It's got a new aluminum, big old aluminum radiator in it, so it runs nice and cool down here. All new suspension, changed the gearing. It's got lockers in it now. A lot of the interior I did myself, and pretty much have just gone through it, changing everything, and then, kind of building it to be a little bit more of a trail rig. It's got a Chevy 350. It's got a T18 with a granny low, 410 gears in Dana 44 axles. So it's there.
Only about 3 miles from the interchange with the 70. We will be heading east on the 70 towards Grand Junction. We're going to stop for lunch, and you might want to let the air down, not so much for the road that we're going to do on the way into town, but after we get through town and the road going over to camp you're going to want to soften your ride a bit. All right, here we are at our lunch stop for day 3. We're headed into Moab. It's a gorgeous day. The group's doing awesome, and we're excited to finally be to the motherland of Moab. And we got the beautiful Courthouse Butte right behind us and the old stage stop. We got dinosaur tracks right over here, so we're gonna take as much of it in as we can before we head through town and then off over down to the Colorado River over Hurrah Pass.
Have spent a bunch of time looking at fossils, and they're telling me that is where a crocodile slid up out of the mud. And I think it would have been, it says 112 million years ago. So this is like when you take your dog to the beach and your dog walks on the beach and leaves footprints. Only this is a really old crocodile.
Speaking of river crossings, we just went over the Colorado River, the mighty Colorado River. Too thick to drink and too thin to plow. And over to the right, you can see what we call it the portal, where it goes between the notch and the mountains. We're actually going to be going right in there shortly.
Can't say that there's any part of this trip that hasn't been gorgeous. You're doing a great job, and every day it gets better. I want to know what like a 5 or 6 or 7 day trip would be like.
My vehicle I was pretty stock with the engine, at least. I mean, I upgraded the suspension and I have a 2.5-inch lift. I have a 2.5 King shocks. And other than that, that's the only modification I have in the vehicle itself. My vehicle performed pretty good this week. I mean, for the whole trip, it tackled all the washboard, even though it was rattling inside, but suspension-wise, everything was good. And I have 3 lockers in it, so I didn't even have to engage a single one. So I guess it did pretty good.
All right, group, so this is not quite the summit, although we can take a few minutes and enjoy the view, because it does not suck. The actual summit is just a couple hundred yards north of us here.
When you're scared of heights, it's beautiful.
All right, photos, so the summit is just up ahead. There's a sign that actually says Hurrah Pass. And fortunately, on the other side, it starts to get pretty finally.
I'm from the East Coast. There's nothing like this out there. My favorite thing to see was just to witness the landscape change, flat desert, and then we had pine trees somehow, and like the first day, it was weird. We've had like 20 different kinds of terrain in just 3 days. Like, it's insane. So it was my first official overland trip with other overlanders. Like, it's usually I'm wheeling my TJ or wheeling this. It was a great experience. I loved it.
This week on the trail has been awesome. Over 400 miles, 40 rigs, from a basic home-built rig to vintage rigs to the Jeep Gladiator concepts way out and far out, and some awesome partners like Jeep, Midland Radio, Falcon Tire, Red Arc, Bubba Gear, American Adventure Lab, Onyx Off-Road, and Warn. We had everything on this trip, and we really hope it inspires you to get out in the backcountry and explore some of the places that maybe you haven't seen before. And if you're looking for more information, our giant photo galleries and our stories, please head over to fourwheeler.com.